Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez here, hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people. Underdog. Yeah, fun morning. Fun morning. Lots of moving pieces out here with this Jonnu Smith deal. I'm sure Nez has some completely rational and not black and gold takes to break that one down for us there. Shout out to the community. We were going to do seventh inning stretch today to help fill it, and you guys already got it all done and filled there. So we got 70K in baseball prizes in the lobbies. We'll build some pick'ems associated with that using the help of the good people at Unabated there, walk through that slate. But the first thing we got to talk about on the docket here, Nez, is big Jonnu Smith coming to town, reunited with Arthur Smith. How we feeling, big dog?
Oh, sorry. Was I muted for that?
Nice.
Oh my god, dude! Let's go, baby. We're back.
We're listening to Renegade all night.
Dude, unironically, love the move.
Okay.
Love the move. They needed to do something, and I'm glad they did something. I don't think that like this is a team ready to like do anything major, but like they needed to do something on the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, Jonnu was good at football, bro. People are so mad. You know, people want to send Jonnu to zero. Please be my motherfucking guest. I pray that Jonnu gets sent to the 180s, to the shadow realm. Do it. Send Jonnu below Dalton Schultz, please. How will he ever get the ball? How will he ever touch the ball? Sharing the ball with DK Metcalf and then Calvin Austin and Pat Fryer, like send him to fucking zero, please. I beg of you. Man, big morning in the Nez household.
I love it, dude. I mean, it's nice to know that we are in full-fledged win now territory with the Steelers, like with all their most recent moves. Like there was one point in time, maybe 3 months ago, where it was like, get rid of TJ Watt, like let's start this thing from the ground
You
up.
can still get rid of him.
But now it's kind of like at this point where it's like, oh yeah, they could definitely go, 11-6 or something this year.
The truth of the matter, and like this is like not a bit like Steeler fans, a lot of Steeler fans that I know did not like Minkah Fitzpatrick, and there was a lot of talk that like there was dysfunction in the locker room that was tied to him. That he was like the cause for a lot of the miscommunication in the secondary and a lot of riff within the defense themselves. I mean, there was somebody, dude, I need to try to find this quote, but like there was like a pretty targeted quote after a game, and then everyone was like, who are they talking about? And they were like, talk about Minkah. And
interesting, man. I always thought he was a baller.
He's a bit of a pretender, man. He kind of has a little bit of the Prez, what was that flame out that was that he went to the Jamal Adams?
Yeah.
Went to Seattle. I see a little bit of that.
Like he's like not safety that just didn't fit the scheme kind of deal.
He was just a last celebration in my group chats. People, dude, we call him Stinka Fitzpatrick, brother.
Okay, I mean, because when I just look at it, like bro science dunce cap, don't know that much about like actually grinding the tape of defense and just like the highlight reel plays that I've seen from him in my life and stuff. I'm like, man, Ramsey's on all these graphics that everybody's talking about right now. Like they're both 3-time All-Pro. Like they're both 6-time Pro Bowlers or 7-time Pro Bowlers. Like I was kind of like, oh yeah, this is a little bit like on par. They're like the same age. Contracts are not that crazy dissimilar. Like I was kind of like, why is Jalen on all of these graphics? Nobody's concentrated on Minkah, but I guess the inside ball knowers know that what Ramsey can do for that our defense is going to be better than what Minkah could do for Miami, kind of deal.
I think that's the overall take, but you got to see it. I'm definitely worried that Ramsey, he's obviously not the impact defender he once was, but like, sure. I think there's still a question of like, is he even a good defender now? Like I think yes, but I don't want to overrate Ramsey's impact by any means, but like, it was a pretty cool move, man. I think it made sense for the Steelers to do this move for sure. Yeah.
let's talk about some other premonitions going forward here with the Steelers. Is the writing in the stars now that they also land your boy Keenan Allen here?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like Keenan wants to come to Pittsburgh,
Uh,
but maybe they will. It just I'm sure money talks. At a certain point, he would probably say, "Okay, I'll play." But I would like Keenan Allen to sign. I mean, I guess I
Anywhere.
could keep. I don't know. I guess I could keep amassing these 17th, 18th round bags, and then like ascend once he finally signs. But I'm getting a little nervy.
Oh man. Yeah. There's still time. There's still time. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like now I'm kind of like I don't even want him to sign with the Steelers. I'm like more scared that he signs with the Steelers. I'm like,
Honestly, dude, it really doesn't matter where he signs.
right. We just need him to play football at this point for a little bit of CLV.
Definitely like one of the worst landing spots, though.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about more intricacies in our game associated with that. I'm gonna bring a couple things up in 1 second, but I gotta give some love to our guy, Pat Moore Poker, out of jail. Congratulations, and takes down an MLB slate immediately after his free release there. Yeah, congratulations, my friend. I think it was Friday's $3 contest he took down.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Car Park knows what's up here. Keenan to San Fran, and we're printing, baby. That's like leave the light on, fingers crossed, like one time for me.
We can dream.
I also would take Titans too, but I think that ship has sailed with the Tyler Lockett stuff. Okay, Nez, I have done a little something here, pretty stagnant, using the beautiful interface that is the Best Ball Explorer, courtesy of the solver here. Let me see. We could track ADP trends and we can timestamp those all the way back to post draft for this BBM window here. So we can take a look at this. I just put the 4 Miami components in here. We have already seen the Jonnu fall. I got to give that a couple zooms, eh? What do you think? Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but Waddle, Tyreek, Achan have stayed pretty stagnant through this whole process. And then right when those murmurings and rumors kind of first happened, this 28 through 31 time frame here, we started to see the slide of Jonnu here. So at this point in time, ADPs are as follow. Jonnu Smith, 116.2. Jalen Waddle, 55.1. Tyreek Hill, 27.8. Devin Achan, 17.1. The whole community is going to overreact to this because this is what we do with limited information, with no camps going on, with no preseason games going on. Everyone overreacts. Jonnu falls 40 spots. Waddle goes up 15 spots. Everyone's fighting over Achan at the 1-2 turn now. Let's pump the brakes. Let's be rational about this situation, Nez. Where do you think these ADPs should be for the next kind of like 2-3 weeks here?
The Laden thinks of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, here's what I would probably deem to be a hot take based on what I've seen. I don't think really any of these guys should move that much. Maybe Waddle, like 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely team like, okay, the overall outlook of the team got like way worse. These are some moves being made that, in my opinion, are net negatives for the team. We'll see if they like replace John. If they go out and like trade for a tight end, I would honestly then maybe probably bump these guys up because like as of right now, I am a little like spooked at like what the Dolphins are doing because to me it seemed like based on what we saw last year and now you couple that with these moves, I'm like, prove to me that these are just like salary saving moves and that you guys still want to like do well this year. And maybe that's like an overreaction on my part, but I don't like when teams get worse in trades. Like we're playing a game that you want to get to week 17 for. Like, this does not bode well for a team to be competing and to be the team that we are drafting today in June, or now soon to be July, that is going to look the same and being competitive in week 17, if that makes sense.
No, that's a really good shout, dude, because like when they start dumping off pieces here and moving salary around and they feel non-competitive in some of these moves, not to say that like, getting rid of two players who are, both approaching 30 with big money and one wanted to raise kind of deal, but getting rid of those archetypes, that doesn't say they're not competing this year, but you want to see the counter move that proves they are competing. So we're not dealing with a 6-win Miami team going into week 17.
Yeah, and not to say, not to like overstate, like, oh, Jonnu Smith was such like a mover of the needle per se. It's just like, to me, it just indicates that they are likelier to roll over because of, I think that just like raises that chance. It's like, what's going on here? Yeah, but what I think is going to happen is I think Waddle and Tyreek are going to move up in a magnitude that is greater than what I would deem comfortable.
Sure. Yeah.
And,
no, I
and I
agree
don't know
with
how
you.
much more room Achane has to run.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thesis surrounding Achane, I mean, maybe this boosts his potential target share on like some of the dump off stuff, and that's something to get excited about. But you and I have already
Oh, did I lose you?
like, no, I'm still good.
So I
good?
That maybe that was just me. I didn't get like the last like 5 seconds of what you were saying. You said maybe it's just me, and I got blank.
Yo, yeah. Maybe it's just us in terms of like we were already quite bullish at pushing him up into that like 13, 14, 15 pick range to get some of those combos where we started with like Nico, for instance, or whatever. So I don't think a ton of that changes for us. I did want to bring up a couple tweets here from John Daigle that I thought were quite sharp. He used the sports info solution stuff from last year and found basically the snaps that were 111 of them without Jonnu, and it was including Tyreek, Waddle, and Achane in that sample. And you could see how condensed the target tree was, which gets me super bullish, most notably about Achane. That 22% target share kind of like jumped off the page to me. I was like, ooh, damn, that's fun. So I think if I was pinpointing like my favorite riser of the group, I know I tweeted out the Waddle stuff this morning and was just fucking around being facetious with the CLV bullshit when everybody loves to play that game. I liked Waddle at his price with or without Jonnu, and it's fine to me now that I have some bags in my first 90 once these slow drafts complete. But like for me, I'm most intrigued with the Achane like legendary upside ceiling case now.
Yeah, I think Achane's range of outcomes are absolutely like overall RB1, no doubt. Just I mean, he was going to catch passes with or without Jonnu, but without Jonnu, obviously, like like this tweet is emphasizing, it's bullish for the like where the targets are going to go. Looks good for Achane. Like I said, just a matter of like how's this team going to look as the season goes on, because I know one of the big problems they had last year was the offensive line was a disaster, and as far as I know, it didn't really get much better. And can McDaniel like coach his way around a bad offensive line? Because I think it was like kind of like a perfect storm of, I think coaches found a way to counter what McDaniels was doing, and now they also had a terrible line, so it just made them so easy to kind of defend. It is going to be interesting, like can McDaniels put a good offense out on the field, because I mean 23 they were world beaters, and then last year, coupled with Tyreek getting a year older, things really crashed down to earth. So like I think there are a lot of question marks still with Miami, and if they're getting priced as though like 2024 didn't happen, then unfortunately I think my journey's over in drafting Dolphins if things are going to get out of hand.
Very interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I respect it, dude. I was just trying to pull up a little bit of Steelers stuff behind the scenes here so we could talk about the other end of that. I think one other thing here is, you're alluding to the competitiveness and you want to see them make another move with the Dolphins and that sort of thing. I think they're going to be like a very very talk happy landing spot for any potential tight end trade or cut now. And I think some of the teams or some of the names that people are going to start throwing around, like maybe Mark Andrews potentially there, maybe like Noah Fant, because he seems like a cut candidate with the moves that they made. Njoku, if the Browns don't go properly, kind of thing, and then they drafted Fannin, right? So some of that sort of stuff. Yeah, any just macro thoughts at like Jonnu potential replacement? The Galbrain one I'll throw out is why doesn't Westbrook Akine just score 9 touchdowns again? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, Michael Mayer is another good one in the
I've
chat.
heard Mayer quite a
Yeah.
bit. I would agree that I think one of these vets that had a rookie tight end drafted that was getting a lot of hype, certainly like the odds-on favorite to land here, i.e., like you said, Njoku, Fan could easily get cut, like you said, and then just sign here. It's like, why would Miami make a trade if this dude's just going to get cut? If he does get cut, I mean, maybe they're not totally comfortable rolling out Arroyo. Yeah, a Mark Andrews trade would be super, super crazy.
Don't forget about our one-time primetime Palooza hero AJ Barner. You remember that slate? You remember the AJ Bonner slate? One of our community members won it, and we went full Galbrain on, or I went full Galbrain on him potentially being like, yo, he's just got to catch one touchdown and he could break this slate. And everybody goose egged, and AJ Barner binked the primetime Palooza slate for like 20 dimes.
Yeah, maybe Miami was watching that slate too. I don't know. There's something there.
Cole Kmet sounds good there. Lord, who says no to no?
So yeah, the Kmet thing I just don't think would make sense, just because they got a bunch of salary off the table with with Ramsey. That would just be like, I think, such like a lateral move to then like replace his salary with Cole Kmet when you could have just like kept Jonnu and Ramsey. But maybe if I just don't know how that would work out, unless they were like, hey, we like Cole Kmet a lot and we'll take him for nothing because he costs so much to pay.
Right.
Then that's totally an outcome. But yeah, this is fun. This is a fun trade. And why did it come out the way that it did, man?
Yeah, where it came out with like the defensive players first, and then it was like a 1-for-1. Then all of a sudden picks were added. Then all of a sudden Jonnu was added, kind of vibe.
Yeah, especially because like Jonnu was rumored to be traded like weeks ago.
Right.
And then he was the last one to get reported. Like, it's so strange.
The Cole Kmet one could make sense, Nez. It's 11.6 against the cap this year, but there's a cut out after this year. So potential out, so you don't have to take the next 2 years. But if you want the next 2 years, you get them at a discount in parentheses where you get them for 8.9 with the same cap hit of 11.6. So someone could have team option basically on Kmet, because he is technically year 2 of a 4-year deal, but there is an out next year, and the dead cap penalty is only like 3.2 million. So you could take a shot at Kmet. That's better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Finn's going to just get the cheapest blocker available. That kind of checks out too easy. That's pretty good shout there. I mean, also like trade for the fastest, shittiest Colts tight end behind Warren. Like, that plays for sure. Like, just like, let's get Mo Alley Cox, because there's 9 tight ends on the Colts roster right now.
They really do need a blocker.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, they're with how bad the line was.
I want to look up. Okay, I'm gonna look up 2 things right now. I want to do the ADPs through the Steelers lens real quickly, and then I want to see the backup depth chart of Miami tight ends, because last year we did play. What was his name? Oh shit, I'm gonna get there. Julian something. We played him, and we were looking at like the utilization score of him, and he played like 11 snaps one game, but he ran like 8 routes on it, and we were like,
yeah, Julian Hill.
Julian Hill. That's this guy's a scroll the F down this week, guys. I'm bringing this up right now. They still got tight ends on the roster. They still got 5 by my count. Pharaoh Brown, Julian Hill, Tanner Connor. I don't know who any of these other guys are, but they do have 5 active tight ends on the roster as of right now. The other John Daigle tweet that I thought was pretty cool here was talking about the inverse side of it. We talk about Jonnu's breakout season being with Arthur Smith with the Falcons there, and then he leaves Arthur Smith and has his best career season ever, and then now he's, as Daigle alludes to here, comically refuses to use him. These have been some of the raw targets associated with Jonnu in the offenses that Arthur Smith has had. So, yeah.
Well, in 23, I mean, he was arguably using him too much. At least that's what we thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Tennessee, things were strange there.
Yeah. Okay, Nez. Let's talk about your Steelers side here. I just put Metcalf, Rodgers, Freiermuth, and Calvin Austin in here. I think another potential impact could come for Jaylen Warren for like dump off season. Does that now skew by way of like Jonnu or something? But I don't know. Maybe end of Roman Wilson pipe dreaming in the 20th round, 18th round, depending on your contest kind of deal there. I guess thoughts on any of it, all of it, and what we're doing Steelers offense wise in terms of ADP.
I mean, you got to send Freiermuth to 0.
Okay.
For sure. Like, just unequivocally, like, not draftable right now. Yeah, so he's out of the picture for me. I think Calvin Austin's still fine in the 18th. Like, as long as they don't bring anybody else in, he's going to see the field a ton. Not a lot of overlap with him and Jonnu. So, like, he'll still see the field. Not that he's, like, a great pick, but he's fine in the 18th. Mm-hmm. Metcalf, I think, stays the same. I would love a dip on Metcalf, but I think he stays the same. And then Rodgers, I think, should stay the same. He probably moves up a little bit.
Okay.
I think the field will react positively to this for Rodgers.
I think it's just natural progression with Rodgers at this point, where it's stabilizing where his ADP should be. Like, their defense could still be really good. They could still play slow as hell because it's Rodgers. They could still establish the fuck out of it. And like, he's just not good for fantasy. But I think just in terms of like stacking partners now that have relevant ADPs, he will rise, no matter what, right? Like, he'll vault Sam Darnold, and we don't even know if Sam Darnold's going to have a job. As long as Rodgers stays healthy and they're kind of in the playoff hunt, he's going to have a job, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Think of Packers and Steelers trades brewing. So maybe like Luke Musgrave, now that Tucker Kraft has like fully emerged there. I did see some smart stuff in the chat here. Yes, Henny, the true sicko 7th inning stretch is already filled, so we couldn't even draft it today. I wanted to bring up the parallels between making this move after signing your young, in parentheses, but your second contract tight end at 27, right? So Freiermuth signs a 4-year deal, and then they still proceed to make this. Now a tight end can affect the ball game in more ways than just, offensively scoring touchdowns and shit like that, right? Like, maybe Freiermuth is a more complete player than I have any idea of, but it's just kind of weird that both the Bears last year, or I guess 2 years ago, and then the Steelers this year, both make these like tight end signings, give these guys 4-year deals, and then just roadblock them immediately after with the Jonnu and then the Loveland drafting. So just found that interesting parallels between two teams.
Yeah. I didn't really understand the Freiermuth extension anyways. I didn't really think he ever showed all that much.
Fair enough. Seems good to me. Yeah. Anything else here? There's easy saying sneaky, no risk for Jalen Warren here. Do you feel similarly on that one?
I do think that like those are that is there are targets being taken away from Jalen Warren. I think a good bit
Yep.
in that regard. Um, Jalen Warren was hurt a lot last year, but even when he wasn't hurt, he didn't get like it was really the Najee show. So yeah, I don't think 0 is appropriate, but I think he should fall. I think
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah. The other one here, Malik Washington, second year potential breakout, getting some slot snaps. Easy saying that Gretsch had a good take on it. I haven't seen Gretsch's take yet on it, but that could be a benefactor there as a slot wide receiver.
Yeah, I think I'll start taking him in the 18th a little bit.
Okay.
I really want to hear how things. I want to hear from the coach. You know, what their plan is after this move. But Malik should definitely be on radars. I think I'll start by taking him in the 20th in the Superflex and go from there.
Okay. 20th in Superflex. Heard it here first from our guy Nez. Jump back over here just for 1 second to just do kind of like a bookend here. Let's talk about just Freiermuth ADP in general, Nez. 159.8. You said undraftable at this point in time. Where should that number be? Like 200?
Oh yeah, man. Like I'm not drafting Freiermuth at all, and I don't know why anybody would.
Okay. All right.
Like they just traded. They acquired Jonnu Smith. They went out and they got him.
Mm-hmm.
They plan on using him. They traded for him. Like
Yeah.
Muth was already like I think highly questionable, and the only reason he was being drafted is because he was the logical like okay like DK is getting targets and then Muth gets targets. Okay, let's take Freiermuth, and like it wasn't even a great offensive situation to begin with. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why we would be taking Freiermuth right now.
All right. Sounds good, dude. Yeah. So you'd still rather have like Schultz, Sanders, Juwan Johnson, like all these guys over him?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So there's no stopgap for like potential ADP value here or anything. It's just as clean and cut and dry as just take them out kind of deal.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. What's a reasonable price tag for Jonnu then?
I think I would put Jonnu, like where I would start taking Jonnu would be like I think like right around Brenton Strange. I think is fair.
Yeah, so just replacing Freiermuth's ADP with Jonnu at ADP.
Yeah, and I would definitely be buying if that was the case.
Kyle Pitts or Jonnu? That's disgusting, eh?
Today, Jonnu, but like, let's see how camp goes.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think like 156, 153 or something is a good stopgap for Jonnu, but he's not going to be as big a target for me. But I'm fine with him as a one-off. I'm not looking to get overweight in terms of a Jonnu-based stack in any regard, even if it's underrepresented right now by the field.
Yeah, no, I want to let him fall and then figure it out.
I might force it in a time box contest that I'm still in slows potentially, just so I could be like the one guy who has it. But like if I'm doing like a 3-3 build and just tack them on. But yeah, I don't know.
You're truly sick.
I mean, it kind of, I'm just thinking like what contest is already closed in the lobby? Like Schnauzer too?
Schnauzer 2 is still drafting. Slows, that is.
Yeah. So Schnauzer 2 has finished. Here, look, I got 2 on the clock. Schnauzer 2. This is already a Tua team. It's got Jonnu. That's hilarious. This is actually the perfect example. I'll just tack on Rodgers in the whatever last round or second to last round, like whatever he is right now. 200.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like that's the perfect example because nobody's going to be stacking it. It's a time box contest, and I already accidentally have a Miami double going, and now I just tack on Rodgers there. That's probably your best use case for it.
Yeah, if you have Jonnu, you might as well just make it worth your while.
Right. There you go, man. Be good. Ooh, Jeff, is this real? Dolphins have reportedly contacted the Falcons about Kyle Pitts.
I don't know if that's real or not.
But just Kyle Pitt. Kyle Pitt, aka where I shovel all my money each year into the Kyle Pitt. Anything else to say, Nez, or should we talk a little baseball?
No, I don't really have I don't have much else to say. Let's go Steelers, man. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's move into the slate today. Actually, winners for the weekend. Sorry. Did not play all the contests from the weekend, but got 22 in on Friday, 15 on Saturday, and 15 on Sunday there. Friday, Fastball Friday. Here, our guy Andrew with this monster Baltimore stack. Right when we finally wanted to quit monster stacking, right when we finally wanted to quit Baltimore, they just come out and score 22 runs there and break the slate wide open. He chops that bad boy up with the chess man, aka Eye on Fence. But just a true scroll the F down Baltimore stack. Ramon Laureano, who has just turned into Tyler O'Neill, and Gary Sanchez, who's just like the hottest hitter in baseball all of a sudden.
Yeah, man. Sanchez getting a lot of ABs now that Rutschman is on the IL. So
another good spot for him today.
Huh?
Another good spot for him today too.
Yeah. Man, these Orioles, I mean, they just bust out like crazy here, but like I'm still not a believer.
There you go. Yep. Saturday, here we go. Eye on Fence takes it again. Chris is up here as well. Shilly's up here. Eye on Fence, just doing the scoop jobs with these contrarian scroll the F down onslaughts over the weekend here. Once we started talking 2-1-1s and all this sort of stuff on the 8 to 12 gamers, what starts winning full contrarian onslaughts with ADPs north of 35.5, 35.8, 35.9. Full contrarian onslaughts. No Jaron Duran needed on these ones. Shout out to the Boston onslaught versus lefty.
Yeah, just draft 11. I think it's 11 Boston teams there and print money. So good for him.
Yeah, truly dominant there. And then a little bit more of the same on Sunday too, Nez, in the main contest and the second contest because you guys are super sick and filled them all. Oh, shout out to Pat Moore is up here on this one as well. The Wood comes second. Good to see there. It was Yankees onslaught sees on, and then your boy O'Neill Cruz, the Pirates doing work over the weekend to the Mets, and he hits 2 home runs on Sunday there. Chad Patrick strikes out 1 billion Rockies because everybody strikes out 1 billion Rockies these days.
Was it 1 billion?
I think it was like 9 or something. By Chad Patrick standards, that's a lot. 8 in 5 innings. And Quinn Priester the night before struck out 11 in 6 or 7 as well. I mean, just K's up the wazoo when you're throwing against the Rockies these days.
Yeah, Quinn Priester, first round pick of the Pirates.
Another pitching prospect from the Pirates to go elsewhere and then nuke.
It's not that funny.
Go Steelers, bro. Shout out to King Brad for this bad boy here. 2K scoop at the top there. The perfect swap to get to O'Neill Cruz. And then the second of the slider, Vindy P is up here. Your boy was directionally accurate. And Troy up here. Shout out to our guy in the community, Troy. 5-man onslaught of the Yankees was what you needed. All that left-handed Yankees power coupled with Judge. And then Ranger Suarez with another nice start there. He has quietly been one of the best pitchers in the National League this year.
Yeah. He was a great pick toward the end of 7th inning stretch season for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, but the sickos truly figured it all out. All right, Nez, let's talk about today's slate. I'll use the beautiful unabated interface to do so in a half second. I got to get off of the Pick'em tab there, and we can walk through this one. It is a 6-game slate. The 2 early games have weird start times: a 6:35 game and a 6:40 game. So Underdog opted to leave them off and then allowed us to have the bigger prize pool with the extra, 45-ish minutes to draft there. Pitching on this slate, Nez. It is a lot of good arms going today and not a lot of spots that are jumping off the page in terms of hitting conditions or weather, that sort of deal. As you can see with the unabated lines here, 8.5, 7.5, 8, 8, 7.5, 8.5. Everything, bunched pretty tightly together. Nothing pushing 9. I think I counted 4 of the 6 games are indoors. Arizona, Texas, Seattle, and the Blue Jays. So 4 are indoors. Then we have the 2 minor league field teams going against one another. And then we got this Red Sox versus the future, Garrett Crochet versus the future of Garrett Crochet, Chase Burns, going head to head there in terms of some good strikeout potential. So very pitching laden slate by my estimation. Thoughts on the macro, Nez?
Yeah, to me, it feels like a slate where onslaughts are not going to fare well, but famous last words, right?
Yeah,
just with the potential low scoring slate like this, I think you're going to want to like hop around, mix and match. At least that's what my initial thought was, unless I'm like, onslaughting the Giants against Ryan Nelson or something, or Yankees against Scherzer or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, a slate like this makes me think you want to like do a little bit of more 2-1-1s that we were trying to predict and get out ahead of last week. I think this is maybe when we get home on that.
Yeah, I feel similarly to you, Nez. When there's no like big outlier run totals, everyone's kind of hovering in that like mid 4s range to mid 3 range. It does like feel as if we got to pluck off the home run hitters from isolated environments. If you could put your thumb on like one game today that's like, oh, that one will be the highest scoring game on the slate, which one would it be?
I think I'd probably look at Texas and Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah. Just Patrick
both offenses able to get home.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin versus Trevor Rogers in that one. 2 lefties going. Obviously the Seager lefty, but outside of that, predominantly right-handed lineup from the Rangers. No, I was about to say Wyatt Johnson. No Wyatt Langford today for them. There, that lingering oblique since the spring training has kind of just been like ongoing power there. But Adolis Garcia has, shown some life in recent memory. Sam Haggerty just continues to lead off and be better against lefties than righties. Switch hitter at the top there, so less pinch hit risk. And then on the Baltimore side, as you alluded to, primarily right-handed dominant in the middle of that lineup outside of Holiday and Henderson. Imagine O'Hearn comes off the bench, which introduces some pinch hit risk there. But Westberg dealing with a finger thing, missed the last 2 days. If he's in there, it looks like a pretty good smash spot for a righty at the top of that lineup of his caliber. So, yeah, decent shout there, dude. My mind goes to Rays Athletics. Probably most notable weather concern on the slate, but it's almost a non-zero. In my estimation, it's kind of those lingering storms as we've been dealing with. We like the Rays more against right-handed pitching because of all that left-handed power, and there's going to be considerable pinch hit risk in it. But Yandy Diaz has been one of the best hitters in baseball over the last month. Junior Caminero in that same vein. So I'm really happy getting to Rays righties and then taking some shots on double bubble leverage with Athletics lefties. Thoughts?
Yeah. I do worry about A's against Rasmussen a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously like the park is good thing and the A's are, have the propensity to blow things up. So no, I think it's a good shout. I mean, I think the variance is in this game's favor if you're trying to, for the exercise. I do think like it makes sense, but um yeah, I would also say that like Jacob Lopez kind of like sneaky pitching well lately.
Yeah, man. I
Um
was looking at those box scores. I was like, where the fuck all these strikeouts come from? And they're against good teams too.
Yeah, last 4 games, he's thrown, let's see here, 10, 17, 23 innings, 1 earned run, and 24, 29 Ks in that span. So it does look like, still vulnerable to right-handers. And so that's obviously Morel's music, Yandy Jr.'s music, but Lopez, man, yeah, how about it?
Yeah, shout out to the Morel comp or the Morel name drop coming from you, not me today, because good comment on Twitter as soon as we dropped the show link. Hey, how long until I think it was Johnny C who dropped how long until John drops Christopher Morel versus a lefty in the middle of the show. So shout out to Nez for getting there today instead of me. Love to
Huge
see
upset. Huge
it. Huge,
upset.
huge upset. Yeah, Nez, problem with some of the righties there. Yeah, tell that to that Astros matchup right there where he faced 9 righties and still got it done with the 9 Ks there. So pretty badass to see it get done versus both hands of the plate. But you're definitely right when looking at the larger sample than that one isolated game that the right-handed bats fare more favorably against him. Yeah, and the quality of right-handed bats in Yandy and Junior pretty nice. But yeah, those are kind of the 2 initial games there. The ballpark pal here for everyone will tell you that Yankees and that Giants stack seem to be popping in terms of run total comparative to the rest there. You mentioned going up against Ryan Nelson and going up against Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer with the hardest hard hit percentage against on the slate here at 44% and the highest home run to fly ball ratio at a 18.2% there. So yeah, clearly still hampered a little bit by the hand injury. What was it, a thumb injury now that he's been dealing with? I think it was like a
I'm
thumb
not
or a
totally
finger.
sure.
Yeah, when he came back from the IL, he's been like openly talking about it. I'm pretty sure it's like a thumb thing and a grip thing for him. But yeah. Yeah, those were my notes on those 2. So makes sense that they're kind of the most highest priced. But in terms of ADP on our site, dude, Yankees are always kind of expensive, and Judge stands out as like a clear 101 today, given the strength of the pitching slate and the fact that outfield does look a little shallower in my estimation than slates we're normally accustomed to. But like palatable price tags on the Yankees, despite breaking the slate the other day there. And then Giants are free outside of Devers. So if you want to get to auxiliary Giants there, they have a highest implied total according to the ballpark pal and look like good leverage right now.
Yeah, easily like 2 like the best spots right now per like at cost. Not even close.
Love it. All right, Nez, let's before we talk about favorite stacks, picks to click and all that sort of stuff, let's talk about the pitching on the slate because it is a loaded pitching slate. But if you juxtapose the projection models versus the hashtag models against what ADP looks like today, specifically the Bat X, you're going to get very polarizing results. So, Garrett Crochet jumps off the page as SP1, even though there is some right-handed pop in that Reds lineup, and there is a reason to get to some of that right-handed double bubble leverage in Boston there with the wall where right-handed power plays well. I still think we're both going to be in the camp that Crochet is SP1 and probably should be the 102, 103 every draft.
Yeah. Yeah, Crochet, dude. He has one of the highest strikeout pick'ems I've seen on the season right now. 8.5 is what it's set at in the pick'em lobby. Yeah. It's a little bit, higher multiplier on the higher, but I haven't seen 8.5 this season. So that was crazy to me.
Yeah, that's quite high. That looks good to me. They also can't really do anything. The Reds can't really do anything about left-handed outfielders right now. Like Friedel's okay and still leads off against lefties. Obviously, you get Ellie on his worst side, but like I guess Reese Hines comes in off the bench, so they don't have to play like Fraley and that sort of stuff. So maybe there still will be like 8 righties in the lineup, but yeah.
Yeah, about 8. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you don't include Ellie because he's basically like a pre-square, but yeah, it would be 8. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Tyler asking for 3 out of 6 in the big fly there. Ricky Lee's asking us the WOBA in the last 30 days for Jung Ho Lee. I imagine the way he's framing this one that it's going to be kind of ugly because I can't think of him doing anything nice on a slate outside of the Coors series, but maybe they just haven't been on the slate. So this is a loaded question. I'm not sure.
Well, did you see what his ADP was in the stretch?
I did not.
It like the entire time the stretch was open, he was like ADP 76, like 70-ish.
Wow. Just that outfield scarcity problem.
Just like certain guys just like had ADP set and then they would just get like stuck and just like would never move, regardless of how good or bad they were. Jaron Durant, like it was another classic example of that. He's been like on the wrong side of a WRC plus for weeks now and is still like a third round. Was still like a third round pick.
Yeah, hat tip to us for I think I almost one of the few things I got right this year, Nez, was basically a full fade of Jaron Durant in the second round there. Here you go. Last 30 days, WOBA 0.103.
I'm pretty sure it's it's bad, but it's not that bad. I think it's like 260.
Okay. We'll see what Ricky's splits he's looking at after there. Yeah, can we get a Badge Bros nod to the GOAT, Tariq Skubal? Damn right, man. This guy's fucking built different, man. I mean, Brent Rooker still BVP'd him, I think last time out or second last time out because he's had success over on him against his career. But man, that guy is looking every bit of potential Triple Crown chaser yet again this year.
He's so good, man.
Yeah. Okay, Nez, this is where things get quote unquote dicey compared to the Bad X. There are some stark contrasts between ADP and their projections today. And yeah, I got to ask you here because at the tail end, right side of the board, tail end of the first round, over and over again, you see Carlos Rodon and Logan Webb going there. Do you have a favorite between the two? Do you like some of the targets behind? How are you going to rank it out?
First off, if you hear noise, just let me know. They're like, I think what sounds like is like leaf blowing dozens of aluminum cans down my street. So if you need me to just like mute myself, please just like tell me to
You're
mute.
good right now. You're good.
Jesus fuck, man. I can't wait till this. They're doing new construction beside me and this can't end soon enough. I honestly I was so distracted I didn't even repeat it one more time.
We're ranking out the pitching from here on after the Garrett Crochet stuff, and I was just noting that the Bad X has it starkly different than ADP.
I would imagine. I'm gonna guess they don't like. I haven't looked. I'm gonna guess they don't like Rodon nearly as much as ADP does because I don't.
Okay.
And I don't like Logan Webb nearly this much either. I like Kirby the most out of what I'm seeing here.
Cool. Yeah. So you're correct. Kirby is the Bad X second favorite pitcher on the slate just by raw number, and he's buried a little bit here. We did see a little bit of Kirby strikeout ceiling 2 starts ago. No, it was 4 starts ago, and that was against that strikeout heavy Angels lineup. But boost to strikeouts for the Kansas City side in Seattle because it's a tough place to strike out in Kansas City. But now they moved to a park where strikeouts are plentiful here. So Kirby strikeout rate at home looks pretty nice there. Yeah, they actually like Rasmussen, Waka, and Scherzer more than that next little pocket of Rodon and Logan Webb. I'm not sure I'm going that far because I am a Rodon and Webb respector, even if the K rates are, inflated relative to projection, like in actuality versus in projectable. But yeah, what do you think there?
To me, like the TLDR is like you can wait on pitching outside of Crochet.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm never paying ADP 7 and 8 for Rodon and Webb today. Like them both on the whole, just not doing that. I'm gonna have a lot of Chase Burns, I think.
Okay. All right. So you're buying into what we saw from Chase Burns. First time out there, he struck out 5 Yankees in his first, I think it was first 6 batters ever faced. First rookie to ever do that. Yeah, I mean, strikeout stuff looked electric. You've been hyping him for a minute in the 7th inning stretch there. Talk me through Burns.
He's just like a very, very good prospect. Kind of came up pretty fast because he was just like MLB ready from like the moment he was drafted. Yeah, dude, he's just very, very filthy. He's got gas, pairs it with like a disgusting slider. I'm very much fading the Red Sox today, and yeah, I am not buying the run total that you're seeing everywhere on the Red Sox today.
Yeah, good shout there, dude. Yeah, Red Sox have been someone tweeted it yesterday. Red Sox have the worst offensive projection of any team in baseball for this upcoming week, according to Oopsie, which factors in some of the StatCast data given the current roster. So no, Devers, Yoshida, and Bregman kind of thing. So yeah, they do not project well for the entirety of this week. That was a season-long person who tweeted that out. Apologies for never remembering who the fuck and giving credit to anyone who does good research. But yeah, man, I could see that in a big way. Dude, sneaky that lineup. We were like, oh my god, they're going to be righty killers this year because of like Duran, Devers, Cole Anthony, Myers, like all this stuff. They've low key become lefty killers because Romy Gonzalez and Ref Schneider and these guys are the better of the bunch at the top end of the lineup. Trevor Story versus lefties, that sort of thing. So the matchups that I'm chasing for Boston in the future, like the one that won the slate on Saturday night, is actually right-handed stuff.
And don't forget Rookie of the Year, Carlos Narvaez.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. Dude hits tanks. Yeah. Did I drop a Cole Anthony instead of a Roman Anthony? Probably. That checks out.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Nailed it. Too many fucking sports, man. I'm not smart enough to keep up with all these names. This is a funny one from Jump Free. Bad Axe inherently can't like Rodon because he's against Vlad and they love Vlad every single day.
Yeah. John, if you look right now, I guarantee, I haven't checked, I guarantee Julio projects better than Cal Raleigh. I guarantee it.
Okay, let's take a peek here. Vlad is the 4th highest projected player on the slate.
What?
Bo Bichette is up there. Let's see. Hold on one second. Looking up Cal Raleigh. Yeah, Cal Raleigh has a 7.69 projection, and Julio Rodriguez has an 8.04. Spot on, my friend. Spot on. That one, yeah.
See, that's a million home runs. Like, no.
He's fucking actually prime Johnny Bench, breaking Johnny Bench's record.
No, give me a sub 400 slugging center fielder instead.
Dude, I turned on that ball game a little bit yesterday for when I had a split second between games, and I saw a pitch that like crossed Cal Raleigh's body, right? So he has to go backhand to far side. It was Ozuna who had just got walked and was on first base. I think it was Brian Wu yesterday. Doesn't hold him on at all. Has the biggest jump in the world. I'm like, this bag is cleanly swiped by 8.5 feet. And Cal Raleigh goes like cross body backhand and then throws a seed that was just, 8.5 feet off the ground, right to the glove. Boom, glove to hip. Polanco moves his glove this far, just like that. And it was like, holy shit, man. This guy's also the best catcher in baseball. It's nuts.
He's such a cool story, man. It sucks that Judge has to like play in the same league as him because, I mean, it's just so unfair. He still might steal MVP, but it's just so unfair that he has to compete against Judge for MVP.
Yeah, they should have just given Judge like a special lifetime achievement award last year, and then given Bobby Witt MVP last year, and then give Cal Raleigh MVP this year.
Are you familiar with the F-WAR rankings right now?
Not currently, but familiar in general. Not familiar with what's currently taking place.
I mean, like, do you know who is third in AL WAR? I will leave the stream if you get this.
Third in AL WAR.
I will leave the stream and you will do solo run after if you get this.
That's that crazy, huh?
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of some good teams in the AL right now. I'm gonna need a clue. I'm drawing too many blanks right now.
Well, I don't want to like if I give you a certain clue, I don't want to like completely nuke it, but infielder, like not catcher, like actual infielder, left side of the infield.
Jose Ramirez.
Nope.
Who is it?
Jeremy Pena.
Jesus. That's wild.
What?
That's wild, man.
What?
That explains why that team's in first place right now, though. We keep looking at it over and over again. We're like, how the fuck are these Astros doing this? Get rid of Kyle Tucker. No Yordan all year. They're all right-handed. Like, they don't beat the brakes off anybody, and yet they just slowly, they're just first place, first base. They just keep moving up the standings. It's crazy.
Yeah, he just hit the IL too, which is unfortunate.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that is unfortunate because, yeah, that's wild. Okay. All right. Who else, now that you have it pulled up, who else is kind of like in and around, names in and around him in the top 10?
Bobby Witt Jr. is fourth.
Yeah, that checks out. I mean, he's not even having like that great a year. He's not having
Yeah.
that great a year, but he does enough defensively. He plays every single day. He's
really boosted by his defensive numbers for sure. Corbin Carroll. It's a shame he got hit. Byron Buxton in 67 games is up here for the AL as well, which is awesome.
That would have been a pretty good guess. That would have been pretty. Playing center field really helps again. Now that he's back in the outfield.
Yeah, well, you would think he's amassed a whopping 1 point of value. I don't know how they do the defensive versus offensive ratings there, but it's really just offensive for Buxton. I mean, he's slugging .566.
Wow, leading off almost every day there.
Oh, dude, here's a great one, John. This one is great. Who is the second highest catcher in baseball in WAR? John, if you get this, I'm done.
Drake Baldwin.
No. American League.
Dude, it's crazy that it's not Will Smith because we were citing how good a year Will Smith's having.
He's third in baseball.
He's third. American League catcher. Oh, Alejandro Kirk. Dude,
I know you got. We'll give it to you.
My god, I was there. I was there. I was looking at some shit today. Actually, this is a fun little segue. You guys can tell it's light day in baseball here. I was looking at this earlier, just looking at the bat tracking data because bat tracking data is kind of like new-ish this year. Alejandro Kirk, 72.3 mile per hour swing speed, like adjacent to Miguel Garcia, in and around Alec Burleson, Soto, Yandy Diaz, and then squares it up 35.7% of the time.
Solid, man.
Yeah. Wow, Jacob Wilson, top 15 WAR in the AL.
Really?
Good at baseball, bad at fantasy. Die on the hill. Die on the hill. Yeah. Jacob Wilson up here with Luis Arias and him, like same but different. Like 63.6 mile per hour swing, but then squares it up 40% of the time there and makes like a massive contact rate. Yeah.
What do you know?
I love that. Okay, I got a kick out of this earlier, and the reason I kept it open to share was to show how polarizing two of your favorite guys are, and it's funny that they're your guys. So Jacob Wilson on one side of the fence over here, and then the just raw tools on the other side with O'Neal Cruz. And Junior, you're a Junior guy too.
It's the best.
This is like the raw tools on one side of the pendulum and then the raw contact on the other side of the pendulum. Very cool. I'll share this one in the chat. This is just one of the Savant pages, but I'll share it in the chat if you guys are curious, poking around a little bit more. I was using it to actually look at Yandy Diaz because I wanted to see how good those righties for Tampa, what's been going on with them. And I was just looking at Yandy being adjacent to Soto and like the same in those categories. Vlad also still being like way up here. I just found this kind of stuff very interesting. Like Ohtani and Vlad being like very comparable. Junior Calmanaro kind of being quote unquote better than both. Like just very interesting swing metrics.
Can you go to the y-axis drop down?
Where am I looking? Yeah, y-axis drop down. Yep.
Is there ground ball percentage?
Batting stance.
It's okay if not. I just want to see.
We could do average attack angle. No, attack. We want I don't think we want attack angle.
No, I just wanted to see Vlad Vlad show up in a funny way.
I guess attack angle is kind of like no, because Vlad's still up here. I guess attack angle is like from here to contact, not from contact through, because contact through would be what we're looking for. Just the fact that he just pounds the fuck out of it into the ground.
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same. Yeah. Anyways, kind of fun. You guys mess around with all that stuff. It's really cool. Let's get back to the pitching here. Nez, we're kind of both out on Rodon there. Obviously, that park has played well for home runs, and Toronto with a predominantly strong right-handed lineup in there. Just interesting note that they leave Addison Barger in there, lefty a lot of the time, still at the top there. So his role seems pretty safe. But yeah, Toronto's low-key been one of the best lineups against lefties this year. So that's kind of reflected in the projection. I think they probably put Ernie Clement a bit higher in the lineup today. Alejandro Kirk will be in that 4 spot. Davis Schneider, an OG lefty killer that we used to get to. So if you want to go for the double bubble leverage that doesn't have a crazy bad implied team total that some of the hashtag models are liking today, like a 411 from there and a 425 in some other spots there, Toronto seems fine. I mean, it's going to be a lot of playing both sides here, but if you want to attack this maybe bad projection and bad ADP of Rodon, you could double down on it by playing Toronto in a big way.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of righties, and he does give up some hard contact. So like it's not nothing, but overall Rodon has been really good. So yeah, I'm mostly looking at the righties here.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good to me. Yeah, some other stuff just associated with pitching. Like Logan Webb is a ground ball artist. Both him and Drew Rasmussen have the two highest ground ball percentages on the slate. So, just good at inducing balls on the ground. And that's good for Rasmussen in that home ballpark, just because fly balls tend to find their way out better than in other stadiums there. So, wanted to bring that to light. Nez alluded to Chase Burns being one of his favorite scrolls today. Rasmussen as kind of like the safe option in this tier. Soft fades at ADP of Rodon and Webb. Scherzer, the Bad X really likes. I don't agree with it. I will not play any Scherzer today. I think he's a shell of his former self there. But thoughts on Scherzer, Nez?
Hard fade.
Yeah. Like I'd rather play Waka. Would you rather play Waka than Scherzer?
Oh yeah, like no question, right? I
Yeah.
mean, what has Scherzer showed us in the last two calendar year plus?
Right.
That's really shocking to me.
Yeah, to get a good projection on him, it's got to be baked pretty heavily in the historicals there. Patrick Corbin's been nice for us this year and kind of gets a bad rap as a fake gas can. But he's been consistent, not as solid as he was to start the year. There, will you scroll at all to Corbin? Jacob Lopez has a bit of a K ceiling that he's shown. Trevor Rogers, any love for any of those guys? Or are you capping your pitching pool?
No, I think Waka at SP9, I think will just be like my break glass pitcher. Like Burns and Waka. Like for me, it's like Crochet, Kirby, Burns, and Waka, I think is where I'm gonna live today.
Okay. Heard it there first from Nez. Crochet, Burns, Kirby, and Waka are his targets relative to ADP and the way he likes to draft. Two more to fill the big fly. Pat Moore Poker asking why pitchers go so much earlier in the seventh inning stretch. Health. That would be kind of like that. And the fact that you can accumulate points so much quicker. Bats, the ebbs and flows of bats are so much starker than the ebbs and flows of quality starting pitching. So just, bankable points really matters because anyone can get hot in a short sprint contest that's like 4 weeks long, and the best hitters in the world can go cold for that. So yeah.
Yeah, well said.
Also job security, like way more solidified at this point in the season than in spring training, where it was like the back end pitchers were way more fluid. They become more fortified now in this time of year where it's like, we know this guy has a job. We know that guy doesn't have a job, etc.
Yeah. I think for me, you mentioned injuries. That's like the biggest thing for me. Is like there's guys that are hurt and then guys who aren't, and the guys that are hurt don't fall enough, and they're completely out of my player pool. And I am reaching for guys that I know have good floors and are healthy. That's what I was doing a good bit whenever I was drafting.
Love it, dude. Well said there. Nez, favorite stacks, favorite one-offs, favorite everything in terms of the hitting.
Favorite stacks, I think definitely Yankees. Hard to say otherwise as far as a favorite goes. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Like we were just talking mad shit on Scherzer. A lot of strong lefties there, plus Aaron Judge for the Yankees. So yeah, very much into them today as far as my favorite stack. As far as a one-off goes, I think maybe a little bit of contrarian play happening, but I like the Rangers today.
Okay. Sure.
They've just been I'm such a sucker for recency bias, and they've been hitting better, and on the whole, if you zoom out, are not bad hitters. So I kind of like a Rangers play today. I don't know if I don't know about Haggerty per se, but we getting Corey Seager off the schneid, 3 straight games of 20 fantasy points, not bad. It's something. Simeon didn't have a bad month. Adolis did not have a bad month. So I don't think that's totally preposterous to get to the Rangers today.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, talk about preposterous is Sam Haggerty's ADP and his price unredacted. But yeah, man, if you want to get there as a leadoff option with the handedness advantage, a switch hitter there. But I like some of these righties as well. We talked about the Adolis Garcia, mental health break followed by actual visible changes in his swing. So playing some of those righties against, Trevor Rogers, who has some gas canny traits in his checkered past there, doesn't feel terrible. Nez, I will do you the service of the scroll the F downs. I like Baltimore and I like the Rays as my 2 scroll the F down stacks. Play a couple one-offs from the athletic side as well, like Nick Kurtz in the middle there, Nick Paz. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Baltimore and Rays for scrolling purposes. I think Jordan Westberg might be my favorite ADP on the board if he does end up playing through that Q tag with the finger. Missed 2 games with that one. A real sneaky scroll the F down, pick to click for the home runs. Danny Jansen today. What do you think about that one?
Love that. I love that call. I'm always down for some Danny Jansen. I had a lot of him yesterday before the lineup came out, and I don't think maybe he did play. And it was Isbell that didn't play. And I had some fucking crazy twofers going. I was living life.
Just enjoying life, drafting ball, baby.
Yeah, that was just. I mean, I was all over that spot, of course, against Baltimore. But yeah.
Yeah, not the greatest spot in the world for home runs against Jacob Lopez, who's been really good the last couple times out. But trusting in that ballpark and knowing that, there aren't amazing hitting conditions across this slate and there's good pitching, that, Westberg and I almost said Westbrook. And, yeah. And some of those Rays righties, 3-mans that are primarily infield dominant. A lot of pinch hit risk outside of Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero. Almost certainly some of those lefties are coming in at some point in time. But yeah.
Yeah, you always got to be cognizant of that. But yeah.
Let's do the damn thing here. Let's jump in. Snap, Bill, here. Danny Jansen, better UD home run odds than both Jazz and Cody Bellinger. Wow, that's shocking.
Wow.
Melcher's saying that Danny kept getting hit by pitches while behind the plate yesterday. Took a little bit of a beating, so maybe not.
I did not know that. What happened? How is he getting hit? Isn't he a catcher? Doesn't he have a mitt and gear? What's going on there?
Bunch of foul tips to the face mask. Those are fun. Here we go. We got friends and family in here. We got the weekend champion who scooped everything, the Onslaught Slaughter. I will bet my bottom dollar here, Nez, that he takes Garrett Crochet as SP1 here and tries to build a contrarian stack. But who knows? Maybe he likes to do it with SP2 or 3. Oh, he does it with SP2 or 3. He takes Carlos Rodon instead of Garrett Crochet. I think Judge is the 101 with a bullet. I think we could just take that. We both like Yankee stacks. So we're going to find a way to get contrarian around a potential Yankee stack here, Ness.
Yeah, I mean, had to go Judge. You can do literally anything you want after you take Judge, but let's see what our guy Chess Boy does at pick 1 there.
Let's guess what contrarian onslaught he's going to build.
I'm going to say Athletics.
Ooh, I was going to say Baltimore. So let's see what happens here.
We'll know immediately.
We will know immediately. Cal Raleigh and Devers go to Melch there. Jay Baconator's hanging out as well here. See what he starts. Interesting to just note that on a pitching heavy slate where we talked about liking a lot of the pitchers and thinking that pitching was good today, their ADPs are still going really early here, 3 in the first round. there. Timmy Carr saying that he's going to stack Reds, potentially right-handed Reds. Kind of fun. Yanni Diaz goes there. A little unfortunate. Jazz Chisholm doesn't come back to us to stack. We could do a little bit of right-handed Toronto. We could do the Texas thing, as you alluded to. Who do you like, Nez?
You want to do my Rangers?
Sure. Start with Corey Seager. We don't care about the handedness with him due to scorching hot 3 home runs in his last 3 games. There, welcome back to the real world.
Oh, Timmy, good call.
Timmy knows. He goes Reds there. Do you want to do Sam Haggerty or do you want to leave that for somebody else? Okay, so maybe a Yankees outfielder or a Yankees component here, or do you want to do SP?
Yeah, what do you think about Grisham as like a little bit of a contrarian piece there? Because normally everybody's going to go Bellinger.
Sure. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to be a Jason Dominguez day or a Giancarlo Stanton day?
I mean, I would think Dominguez, but
okay.
Oh,
I thought the opposite. I tentatively have Stanton in my stuff right now. I have a Grisham, Judge, Belly, Stanton, Jazz, and then who cares? Kind of like Wells, Volpe, Rice, something like that. They could both draw in if Rice sits and they don't do both of the catchers in. Yeah. Ricky Lee saying Stanton rested yesterday. He's been hitting the ball hard. Like his swing, all his advanced stuff looks decent. The ball just hasn't left the yard for him yet. So Stanton as a contrarian or slightly more contrarian outfield stack partner feels okay too.
1 second.
What are our friends building out here? Melch is going with a little bit of Seattle stuff. First time I've seen Randy Arozarena go there. Obviously, only 12 teams to choose from today. These shorter slates are also spots where I like to prioritize slight boost to the road teams, especially in some of these tighter ball game environments or projected to be tighter ball game environments. Like to get those extra 3 ABs. 3 outs, right. I mean. Haggerty comes back if we want to do that with the Texas stuff. Mm-hmm. We could do Adolis here. We could do another Yankee. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think I would do Adolis and Simeon.
All right, let's do Adolis first. And then I think we should probably take pitcher and like stake our claim because our scroll the F down Texas piece is not going to get selected. But 2 more pitchers are going to. You said you liked Kirby. Is that true here? Or do you want to take Rasmussen or Burns? Who do you like?
I think I'd do Kirby.
Me too. I like Kirby at home, just in a vacuum. Yeah, man, he gives you a little bit of floor too, not by way of the Ks necessarily, like not the same strikeout rate as we saw last year, but he gives you a floor in terms of length now. Like he just feels like a guy that they're going to let go, 6+ every single time that he can.
Yeah, I feel very confident about him getting through 6 at a minimum. Because the Royals have been pretty bad.
Royals stink. Nick rolling through to tell us that the best stack of the day is, in fact, the best stack of the day. Go Yankees.
You know who has not been good is Jack Caggs.
No, he has not been. Vinny P's been a little bit forgettable as well.
Are you sure?
I thought so. Maybe I'm just making that up.
He had like a nice stretch in June, and then like at the start June, and then like fell back down to earth very fast. He's at a 106 WRC plus, but for a while there he was like hit like at like a steady like 120. He had a good start to June.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, I just thought he'd been kind of bad throughout. Boys are getting spicy in the chat. Scroll the F down. David Hamilton today is a scroll the F down pick to click for our guy
Miller time, baby.
Wow, Simeon goes as a one-off. Westberg going there, best click on the board in my opinion. Would you rather add Josh Young or would you rather add I don't know, Rice, Wells, something like that?
Let's do Rice.
Okay. I'm good with it. Some left-handed power there. That the one game over the weekend. So yeah. Here's a good one that I had in my notes that I forgot, that Shea Bangliers could be back today. Another one that could be back in the next couple days here is the other one that could be back in the next couple days is Tyler O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill is on rehab assignment right now. Whether he's better than Ramon Laureano right now, time will tell. But he could be back there to muddy the waters that is the outfield that they gave him a bunch of money to play in. GM to the BBV. Nez, I think we should do one draft more and then some potential pick'ems and then call it a show.
Yeah, let's do it.
You got 3 more spots here if you want to draft the main contest alongside us. Nice to see the return of 5K to first, 7,200 entries there. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna get pretty full. Like once the lineups come in, you see fill rates tick up in a pretty big way in the afternoon.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I do think like the context of the slate, kind of like the Coors one that looked like it was going to overlay last week. There's just certain slates that skew to drafting later in the daytime, and this kind of feels like one. There's no jump off, clear screaming chalk spot to get to. So people are waiting for lineups. People are waiting to make decisions. People are researching more heavily than just like hopping in and trying to chase Dodgers at Coors or whatever,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no matter what the slate size is, you gotta do a little bit of homework for sure. So I think that makes total sense.
So we did get 4 lineups so far, Nez. Let me make sure we're not on the clock. 4 lineups so far. Austin Hayes, renowned lefty killer, hitting 4th for the Reds today. Steer and Stevenson in the 5-6. Reese Hines, as we alluded to, getting some right-handedness in there from the Reds. Red Sox have Abraham Toro hitting 3rd in this one. Anthony Abreu, nothing funny there. Hamilton is in the lineup at the bottom there, hitting 8th. As we are on the clock here, I know you don't love these 2 pitchers. What would you like to start building out?
Big Dumpski.
All right, let's do it. Big Dumper as infield 1 there. He's stolen a couple bags this year too.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, a little fleet of foot there for Big Dumps. The other lineup notes. Now that we got official, Ernie Clement is hitting 2nd for the Blue Jays, not getting drafted. But Barger does stay in the lineup in the 6 hole there, lefty. So he's not a pinch hit risk. David Schneider, a little less desirable, buried in the 8 hole. Miles Straw draws in, so it looks like no Spring. Oh no, Springer's DHing and hitting 5th. Okay. I like Kitty's takes, a Yankees piece, and then the Lawrence Butler piece. What do you like here, Nez?
Let's see here. You want to do your Tampa stuff?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do 2-man Tampa and then maybe a little Seattle 3-man or something.
Yeah, that works.
Sounds good. Dylan asking for the top picks to hit some home runs today. I'm itching to get to some right-handed Rays. Nez pointed out some right-handed Rangers there. Also Corey Seager in that same vein. I like Jordan Westberg probably the most relative to every price tag today. Yeah, anybody else you want to shout out there, Nez?
Where are you seeing the Jordan Westberg price tag? I don't see anything upon him for on the UD Pick'ems yet. I would probably say
I just meant the draft Q tag.
Oh, well, for me, I
was
like Ramos in the Pick'em lobby. 3x right now. Usually a 2 something x guy.
okay.
So that would be like my jumping point for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking kind of just macro. I wasn't talking price adjusted. I was
Okay.
talking about like the games kind of thing, but that's a good shout. We'll build that one into a pick'em coming up here. Tyler in here, Chris in here, now Ricky, Topes is always hanging out. This is a full friends and family draft. Tyler starting a little bit of athletic stuff on that side. Everybody fighting over athletics because the lineup just came out. It's a race to get Shea Bangoliers in your lineup. We could do Duran and do like some Boston stuff, but I think we keep going with these Tampa righties.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, Nez, how would you land this plane? I think George Kirby fits the roster really well, doing Seattle, like doing the battery mates between Cal and Kirby. Would you instantly do, double right-handed outfield options from Seattle, or maybe even a Luke Rayleigh or something? How do you go?
I mean, I probably wouldn't do Seattle. I was just, wasn't trying to override you in the laundry there, but I think I just play Cal Raleigh one off Dong, and
Okay.
I'd go Yankees outfielders. Like I would take Trent Grisham if he's leading off in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
like he has been. I mean, he's just like massively undervalued.
Okay, let's do it. Do Trent Grisham here. You like Trent Grisham better than Jaron Duran?
Yeah,
Duran?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that Duran ADP is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of outfield depth on the slate in general.
Yeah, and just people not knowing who Chase Burns is.
Yeah, good shout. Tyler's trying to differentiate from his 100% Rays and Baltimore stacked.
Oh,
Ooh, there's a spicy take there. Roto God, David Hamilton.
leave it to Ben to come in here with the Roto God take.
The Roto take. Hey Ben, you're allowed
Always.
you're allowed to draft these games now, bro. You know that, right? You don't have to worry
He's busy
about those normal
grinding.
leagues anymore.
No, he's grinding, man. He's keeping him alive.
Kirby gets snatched up. So does Chase Burns. Tell me you're watching the show without telling me you're watching the show. That means we probably want to take Carlos Rodon here. We could also do Rasmussen alongside this, but I don't know. We got a little bit of Yankees correlation. What do you like, dude? I don't think I like Kitties. Oh, he might. He's got Jazz Chisholm. So let's see what Yankees outfielders are available. Stanton's the only one.
That's fine.
Dominguez.
Let's do Stanton.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we looked at his roster and saw that he had Jazz, because now we'll just get whichever of the two pitchers come back, and that's cool by me.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting team here, a 2-2-1 with Big Dumper, the best, most prolific home run hitting catcher of all time in the first half of this year on our team here. And then we do a little two-man stack. We do a pretty common two-man Tampa. Going to want to diversify that a little bit and kind of stem away from the pinch hit risk guys like Morel potentially today. But I still like him if he gets two ABs in the middle of the order versus a lefty. If he's down at the bottom of the lineup, probably won't draft him today. Grisham and Stanton go there for us for Yankees contrarian stack. And now Rasmussen gets a little win equity boost. Waka, we'd be against ourselves. Mm-mm. We don't really want to play the other guys. Scherzer's against ourselves. I think it's just Rasmussen, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Rasmussen gets in there, so not bad. 2 Tampa, 1 Seattle, 2 Yankees. Kobe Mayo for a scrolly F down there for Topes.
Nice.
Love it. Getting 3 Baltimore right-handed sticks. Mayo, Sanchez, and Ramon Laureano. That's contrarian. There, put Nick Paws in there. How dare you look at my roster? Oh, good stuff. All right, Nez, that's pretty good, man. We ripped a couple drafts. We talked through the whole slate. I think it's time to give the pick'em goods out here. I will use Unabated. Just check out what we got going on here for the entry builder before we do the home run stuff. They like Maxwell. That's funny to see in real time. They kind of like the strikeouts. This is obviously Bat X loaded in here. So a couple strikeout ones there, some lower strikeouts on the Carlos Rodon, which, this kind of ranged true with what we were seeing in terms of projection. An LE lower on singles. Yeah, nothing truly popping. Chase Burns lower on earned runs.
Okay. I like think, that.
Yeah, that goes in lockstep with what you were cooking too. I kind of like playing like the Chase Burns lower earned runs, Carlos Rodon lower strikeouts because of the handedness of that Toronto lineup. Those look like two little building blocks for an entry here.
Yeah, let's start off with that.
We are getting kind of a gross price tag on it, but we can make this work. See what Chase Burns is doing for us in the lobby here. Lower on the earned runs at an even price tag there. Shout out to our guy Spike rolling through 5 gifted Bad Bros membership. What a beauty. At least the second or third time he's done that for us. So mad respect. Thank you so much. That means you'll have early access to the Solver series out here. You will have No Strip Nez streams. There'll be a members only stream. I don't know if Des has time to do it tomorrow because I'm out tomorrow. National holiday, great Canada Day here to celebrate with some beer drinking and some slow pitch playing. So that'll be fun there. But we're gonna have multiple streams for you guys this week that are members only. So thank you, Spike, for that. Nez, what would be the last one to add to this? Because I know both you and I aren't in love with the Scherzer one. Ellie lower on singles might get docked because of the Burns correlation, but we can try it.
Let's just see like how bad it is.
Ellie De La Cruz lower on the singles, not bad. 5.78.
Can you do higher on it? I just want to just to compare. Awesome. Okay, cool. I like that. Let's see some green in our lives.
All right, let's do it. 50 gets you 289. Courtesy of the good people at Unabated, part of the Pick'em tool there. You can plug in your own projections. Speaking of projections, they have some of the best WNBA projections in the biz. We use those to make Pick'ems and play the WNBA contest. The next WNBA slate is going to be Thursday. It's a 5-gamer. We should probably do a little bit of a deep dive on that one, utilizing their projections as well, Nez.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak to a ton of the NBA stuff, but I would love to just like showcase the just to give like a little trial day of the projections for people, just because like I use them. I don't know. I'm learning WNBA. Don't get me wrong. I am learning. I'm trying to become a scholar. I went to my first WNBA game this weekend.
Oh yeah, tell us. How was it, dude?
It was a lot of fun. They play in like a very they play in 2 spots, right? They play where the Mavs play sometimes, and they play in this college gym in Arlington.
Okay.
And they were in the Arlington gym against the Mystics, and like I know way more Mystics players than I know Dallas Wings players too. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm like, man, I think I'm like low key a Mystics fan. I'm like, I know Shakira Austin, I know Kiki Irfin, I know Brittany Sykes. I'm like, well, I know so many of these. I'm like out here kind of rooting for the Mystics in my brand new Paige Beckers jersey. I'm like, what's wrong with me? It was fun.
You got a Paige Beckers jersey.
Oh, dude, yeah, I had to. Well, I have the shirt, but I had to get a jersey because the shirt kind of fit me kind of funny. Like it got small in the wash, so I was like, let me just like pony up for like a nice Beckers jersey. It'd be cool to have. So I went. Paige sat, and I was kind of worried that she was going to sit because it was a back-to-back. And I'm like,
Second night.
since when do these motherfucking girls play back-to-backs? Like they only play like 40 games a year. Why are they playing back-to-backs? And so I was like a little worried, and I didn't say anything to Bria because I was like, it would be fun. We had really good seats. So I was like, let's just like go. It'll still be fun. And it was still a blast. But yeah, Paige unfortunately sat. So we're going to go back for sure. Like she loved it. It was a lot of fun, man.
Nice.
And today, John, they traded Nalissa Smith from the Wings.
Yeah. How's our scroll the F down for a couple slates?
Yeah, they got a first rounder for her. She got traded to the Aces. Kind of a weird move. The Aces, have Asia Wilson, but they're not that good right now. I know that much. But the craziest thing about it, John, is Dejanay Carrington is dating Nalissa Smith, and she is like heartbroken. She is
they traded her away.
They traded Dejanay's girlfriend. So she's like posting on X right now, like heartbroken. She's sad. She's like, dude, that is a ballsy move.
That's a ballsy culture fit move.
Dude, right? Isn't that,
dude, that's crazy.
But you get it first, and I think the 27 first is like, it carries some extra weight for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I think that there's like some like moving parts to the WNBA. I mean, they're expanding. Would it be? I mean, listen.
That's funny.
You can't. There's nothing you can do about it, right? If these girls are going to be girls. But yeah, how crazy is that, man?
That's a bold move. You're keeping your cards close to the vest there. Our guy Pat Moore rolling through, see a big night in WNBA last night. Yeah,
I did. I meant to like put out a tweet because like Unabated helped me out with that big time. So I just like I just sorted by their projections, and I mean it was like a nice like few $100 profit night. So we take that. I was tied for second for a minute there, and then they helped me win a pick 'em as well the same night, which was nice. I knew I liked. I had like a token to use in the lobby, and I knew I liked Taj Bradley higher earned runs in Baltimore, but I like needed something to pair with it. So Unabated got me on Trent Grisham higher runs, Walker Buehler lower strikeouts, and Spencer Strider lower strikeouts. And that Strider one was a sweat because he went 7 innings, but still went like way, way low on the Ks. So shout out to Unabated.
Nice, dude. Well done. Good to hear there. Nez, let's build a couple home run mix and matches and call it a show here. I'm low-key really into what Tyler's spitting in the chat. Mangum, switch hitter. If he's in there, he'll probably hit like 5th or 6th. Those lefties will be out of there. Oh, is it out? What's he hitting?
He's high up in that order, I think, 5th.
Oh, buddy. I like that moon shooter there.
Do you want to do that with Ramos?
Yeah, so you said Ramos. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. And then Ramos, you liked. That's going to get us near 100.
79 is what I got it.
Let's go. That's fun. Put those together there as some fun price tags. I also still like the Danny Jansen one. Is he in the middle of that order?
No, he's in 8th.
Fuck. Never mind. We're out on that one now.
3x, yeah.
Yeah. Curtis Meade's hitting 2nd. Just not a guy that you want to chase. Morel hitting 4th versus lefty. You like that. Aranda stays in, which is good. Yeah, we don't want that Danny Jansen one now that he's buried in that. I think I'd rather take a shot on 2 or 2.8 ABs from Christopher Morel. Yeah, who else do we kind of like there, Nez? Damn, I liked the Danny Jansen one too.
Yeah, we almost had something there, didn't we?
Yeah, we almost felt alive. Well,
I think some of these Yankees.
Okay. Oh shit, I forgot you got to do never judge because the price is always gross. Jazz Chisholm with a 3.25.
I think I like Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz homered yesterday and swagged the fuck out of it. Second decker, it was dope. Him and Stroman were like dapping each other up. It was so cool. I was like, man, those guys are hella swag. Um, we could do a lefty from that side and then a righty from the other side. Like I don't love Alejandro Kirk, but like Ernie Clement, that feels fine. 4-7-3 hitting
Okay.
second.
I could get down with that.
All right, let's do it. Put a couple of these moon shooters together. Some big price tags today, which just says exactly what we were going to say about offense in general. Yeah, Kurtz over the weekend had the bat flip game. That dude, I like this kid. I like this kid. He is fun. Who else? David Hamilton was a scroll the F down one that was shouted out in the chat. I think it was Miller who shouted that one out. If we wanted to go down that route,
7x.
Yeah, buried at the bottom. Man, Christopher Morel 2-2-1 versus a lefty. They just dreams never die, boys.
Let's do Hamilton, and then let's do Adolis Garcia.
Okay. Yeah, you like Adolis today. That seems like a good one.
Yeah, like the 2.8 like leaves a little bit to be desired, but when we're pairing it with a David Hamilton, I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Put that one in the chat for everybody there. People aren't letting Chase Burns get to the 6th anymore. I quit. That's Nez's fault right there. That's Nez's fault. Shea Bangliers return dong. Let's see what Oakland's working with. I mean the Athletics. Shea Bangliers at a 3.35. I say we cap this bad boy off, Nez.
Okay.
Unless you have like a screaming one in your mind. I think we play the double catcher same game narrative, and we trust my initial instincts despite not liking the lineup spot, and we do Danny and Shea Bangs.
Okay.
Do you think it's bad? Tell me if you think it's bad.
No. I think caring that a guy's hitting 8th in the order is I think you'd be ashamed of yourself if you care too much about that.
Yeah, I mean it's just the classic. Now he projects for like I thought he'd be hitting like 5th or something, like he was earlier in the season versus lefties, and you worry about just like how many ABs he ends up getting, especially if they have left-handed sticks off the bench available. Though Jansen's not usually the guy that they end up hitting for. They do sometimes, but yeah, if you got like Josh Lowe and Brandon Lau on the bench, they're not hitting in this ball game unless it's like if it's within like 4 runs. They really need to beat the brakes off of them for Danny Jansen and some of these other guys to get 5 ABs or 4 ABs in a game, right?
Yeah, but still, man, it was your initial lean. You just got to go with it. Sometimes you just got to say, "Damn the lineups."
Got to go with
my heart. I threw you one surprise pick 'em to throw in for the very end.
Can you the link is not working for me and it's trying to make me re-log in for some reason. Bizarre. Can you just share it with me verbally as we go? Is it a big one?
That's no fun.
You wanted the shock value?
Yeah. All right. Go to Jacob Lopez.
Okay. Jacob Lopez.
Higher. 7.5 strikeouts.
Oh, we're gonna slide it on up. Okay.
Chase Burns.
Yep.
Higher. Oh, why are you going there? Why do you think that? Down. Keep going. 9.5.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. 69.99x.
That is a moon shooter of all epic proportions. The 2 young arms striking a bunch of dudes out today. Shoot the moon.
That's what it's all about, man. This is why
Jacob Lopez would financially ruin him today. That's funny.
I hate it has to be you, Tyler. You're my guy. I don't wish this for you, but unfortunately this is what's gonna happen. This is why God made the dog app, for us to do things like Jacob Lopez 8Ks, Chase Burns 10Ks.
Ladder them up, baby. Slide and slop. Fun show, Nez. Really good breakdown of the Jonnu Smith stuff to start there. If you guys missed it, the first half hour, we kind of looked through some of the ADPs using the Best Ball Explorer, that sort of stuff. Shout out to the good people at Unabated who make this possible. Let us walk through the beautiful interface game by game there. Helped us build out a couple DFS pick'ems there and have WNBA projections live for every slate there. There's one game this evening, which they even have projections for just the isolated if you want to get in the sit and go lobbies for that one. But next main big slate is Thursday, 5-gamer. Nez took down a nice pretty penny last night on the WNBA slates, courtesy of them. Link in the bio if you guys want 20% off. Promo code badge below there. And Nez, anything else to add?
No. This slate is going to be, or this game tonight. It is tonight, right? No, it's tomorrow. There's a game tomorrow.
Okay.
But if you are WNBA curious, that's the game to watch right there.
What is it?
Collier versus it's Lynx versus Fever. So Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, that's a banger. Definitely check that one out if you're trying to see a good WNBA game.
Awesome. Great show by Nez there. Yes, and thank you so much, Greg. Happy Independence Day to me tomorrow. My Canadian friends out there, happy Canada Day. Nez will be holding down the fort tomorrow with Pete. We'll be back on Wednesday for cumulative altogether the show there. But Off and On the Clock will still run tomorrow with Pete and Nez, and maybe Nez some potential baseball insight for the members only tomorrow.
I will see if I can swing that, but I'll figure out a way to get something for sure.
Okay, perfect.
May not be live, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. If people drop a video for people nice and early, they can wake up, watch it, whatever works, man. So happen to have some of that. And speaking of members only, where was my thing? Shout out to our guy Spike, who came through, dropped off 5 Badge Bros memberships. Give him some love in the chat there if you were a recipient. And shout out to our guy who took down a contest on the weekend, Pat Moore Poker. Welcome back. Gifting out 1 Badge Bros membership there. All right, Nez, we will have Off and On the Clock tomorrow, and then we'll be back for full deep dive on Wednesday. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.